These people are exterminators, folks. They're destroying our environment, they're polluting our groundwater, they're spraying us with toxins, putting toxins in our food, doing everything they can to control and exterminate.
Hey yo, for years I've watched the wolves corral the sheep, the pieces being moved while the world was asleep. A planet full of beings unaware of the power, as the hopes and the dreams disappear by the hour. I'd sit back and think to myself, nah, this can't be. Speak to ears that are deaf and eyes that can't see, as they scrap for survival, sell their souls for the salaries. No individuality, uniform personalities, blinded from reality by their religious fallacies, mistaken by equating morality with legality. We locked into taking the truth in its totality, and rather die clinging to the lie that changed their minds. Remain blind regardless of what's exposed, man. They'll never understand just how deep this shit goes, how badly they've been fucked, the chains that they wear. It's hard to free fools from the chains they revere.
It's simply gotten to the point that the only thing that is stopping us responding to this is our failure to realise that we are under attack.
Hey yo, what's it gonna take? How much worse does it have to get? How much more in your face does it have to become for you to wait? How much further will you be pushed before you break and take a stand? But by then it might be too late. The fuck's it gonna take? How much more must we endure to further assure you that we're already at war? And government's the enemy of the people, the evil in our face, guarding the gates of freedom. So tell me what's it gonna take? Talking when the sheep are not gonna listen. A bunch of brain dead status with Stockholm syndrome, but it's the ignorance and support of the thorn for the system that keeps others enslaved and locked in this prison. You see, people have no right to not understand rights and what the truth is. That's why my delivery's ruthless, cause I'm through with this bullshit. It's our duty as humans to understand individual sovereignty, no excuses. Instead, this foolish world rather be consumed with mindless entertainment in itself is pursuance, as the same patterns reoccurring. They don't come to a conclusion. They can't distinguish reality from illusion. Good doesn't always win, work around, we're sadly losing, solely due to the fact that this is the world we're choosing. And we can turn it all around the moment we rise up. And rise up, the time is now, or the time's up. What's it gonna take? How much worse does it have to get? How much more in your face does it have to become for you to wait? How much further will you be pushed before you break and take a stand? But by then it might be too late. The fuck's it gonna take? How much more must we endure to further assure you that we're already at war? And government's the enemy of the people, the evil in our face, guarding the gates of freedom. So tell me, what's it gonna take?
What people hold dear, they were trained to hold dear, to make them into slaves, to make them into agents of evil, to make them into cheerleaders for authoritarian domination. And that's not okay, and that's not what humanity is supposed to be. That's why I bash this. That's why I rail against it pretty much 24 hours a day. Because I know what humanity is supposed to be. Because I can imagine a world of peaceful coexistence, like we all can. And because I see what we have instead, and it's evil, and it's horrendous, and it has to change. I bash authoritarianism because I love humanity. That is why I insult people's bad beliefs.